two grown men fighting it out on TV. That was quite a moment. It went on for a while. Ashley Banfield's with me, host of HLN's Crime and Justice, and Sarah Azari, federal and state criminal defense attorney. Ladies, Sarah, just starting with you. I mean, watching those two guys duke it out for, it went on, I want to say, I think I watched this morning 20 minutes or something like that. I mean, we've talked a lot about how Avenatti and Team Stormy has been really taking a page out of the Trump playbook. But do you think, is that what we watched last night? Aggressive, talk over one another, throw some insults, and you win.
Well, that was a little bit of good television in addition to the facts in the case. But I have to say that Avenatti's correct in that there is a signature line for Donald Trump. He is named as a party at the beginning of the agreement. And by the way, in California, most courts treat the and or in the context of a contract as in the conjunctive, which would mean the or would be ignored and it's an and. And there's stipulations in that agreement that are totally within the control of Donald Trump, such as David Dennison, aka Donald Trump, gets to pick the governing law for that agreement. That's, I think, paragraph 8.2 or 8.6, somewhere in there. So a beneficiary doesn't have that type of stipulation in a contract, nor does he or she have a signatory line. So, I do agree with Avenatti. I think this is going to be interesting how it plays out in terms of whether it's enforceable or not.
We are talking about, once again, the difference between a two-letter word, the difference between or, and it used to be the difference between is. So I think this is more serious.
So on Ashley's point, Sarah, and what I think what you're referencing is if and when the president is deposed and he's asked questions about sex, etc., and he lies, that would then get him in trouble perjuring himself.
Absolutely. And I think as salacious as these stories are by these women, and I agree with Ashley, I think more will come forward, I think it's about the cover-up. It's about this president's inability to own up to his conduct prior to becoming president. I mean, he's opened the door to exposure for defamation, as we know from Zervis's case, in that her sexual assault case was long dead because of the statute of limitations,
right.
But because he called it fake news and because he called his accuser a liar, he's now dragged into court for defamation. So he's just digging a deeper hole for himself. And, the bigger message here is a president can sue and be sued. But like Ashley said, he's not suing anyone. He just keeps getting sued.
How about Stormy Daniels and her Twitter page? I spent a little bit of time on her Twitter page last night. Listen, it is now, I feel like, part of the job.
Essential consulting.
It is part of the job. And so I was reading, and I came across this tweet, which, by the way, has now been retweeted something like 30,000 times. She's got a voice. She's using it. She said, technically, I didn't sleep with the president 12 years ago. There was no sleeping. And he was just a goofy reality TV star. But I digress. People do care that he lied about it, had me bullied, broke laws to cover it up, etc. And P.S., I'm not going anywhere.
Avenatti is playing Trump's game very well, and he has so far. And, I think one of the things that came out yesterday with the photograph of the polygraph and her polygraph results, where everyone was like, why? I mean, polygraph tests are not admissible in a trial. And I think the idea is he's setting the stage for the interview with Anderson Cooper this Sunday, is look, the American people, the world needs to know that my client is going to tell the truth. So listen to her because it is the truth.
He said he's got video of it, too.
Woo!
Yeah, no,
and photos.
It is
not sure
drip,
if I want to see that.
Drip.
I wish I looked that good taking a poly.
Sarah and Ashley, we'll save that conversation for a commercial break.